good. Today's Sunny 95.
Welcome to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but we're too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode number 611, and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today's show, we're going to highlight my very own blanket. It's a charity celebrating its 20th anniversary, and they are dedicated to helping children in foster care. It's very cool. My wife and my mother-in-law are very active in helping out with this charity, and so they held a 20-year anniversary celebration and fundraiser, and I went to it. We all went to it, and so we're going to talk about that and hear some audio from the event. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko, and if you'd go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. Also, all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com, and we're streaming live on Facebook. I want to congratulate the Buckeyes on their win against Nebraska yesterday. So far, so good. And as Coach Meyer used to say, the best thing about being 4-0 is a chance to be 5-0. So hopefully that'll happen next week. Okay, so like I said, we had the 20th anniversary celebration of my very own blanket. It's founded by, and she's the CEO of it, Jessica Rudolph. And you're going to hear a little bit about her story and a little bit about how this came about. But let's go ahead and visit the celebration. So I'm at my very own blanket. I went there on this past Thursday, and I was able to interview Jessica Rudolph. She is the founder and CEO of my very own blanket. And it was an event. It was held because of the 20th anniversary of the charity, and so we'll go back and listen in to a little bit of the audio, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit. Okay, and what you're going to hear is Jessica explaining to us in the room, me included, how to make these blankets. And remember, these blankets are for children in the foster care system. And after she explains how to make the blankets and we all get started on the blankets, Jessica played a video that explains a little more about my very own blanket. And so we'll get to that here soon.
So when you find your edges, the ends that you want to cut, take your template and put it on the edge. Let me show you like this.
Nobody taught me yet.
And then just cut up. All right, so cut as high and this is how wide they're going to be. Your fringe is going to be this wide, and then you cut up to the top of the end of the fringe for the template, okay? And then you cut all the way down the one end.
By the way, that sound you hear is me cutting the fabric that we're going to make the blanket out of. So that's my scissors, I was using the table to brace them. That sound, that's the sound I'm talking about.
When you get your fringe cut, you're going to go back, and you're going to tie one knot to one piece of fringe, okay? Tie it to itself. And then, because if you tie two together, it would start to get to be squished together, squished up. The other reason why we only do two opposite ends is because it's nice and square and nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
Again, with the material being, you have a
It's
bias,
easier
you're a solid,
to knot 'em.
Well,
you don't have to. You can do
material
it any way
going
you
on,
want. I
the
just
pattern and everything. If you cut into all
Kinda
four
know what I'm
sides,
doing.
you don't really get a square blanket. It's kind of an odd oval kind of thing. When you sponsor these blankets for $10, we have them sponsored in here for $10. It helps pay for the material. It helps pay for the tags because we silk screen the tags back here in the back corner, so you'll see our silk screening machine back there. We have to buy the material to silk screen the tags and the ink and everything. And then it helps us with the packaging and shipping, but a little bit of money then comes back to us to help us do what we do. And it's fun to just read the other tags and read what they say. I hope this blanket warms your heart. I mean, so cute, so cute.
Okay, this next audio is a little bit about the charity, and it had a little glitch. It's the way it played in the room. I couldn't really do anything about it. You have to listen carefully.
My very own blanket is dedicated to comforting children in foster care by giving them a handmade blanket that will provide comfort and security and a smile.
Did you hear that? It makes them smile. Did you get it? I know it was hard to hear, but Jessica said, my very own blanket is dedicated to comforting children in foster care by giving them a handmade blanket that will provide comfort, security, and a smile. You may want to remember that because I think it's going to be Dr. Kvitko's question of the day, coming up in about 3 minutes.
It's a broken little life that they have to now live and navigate every day, and it's not a choice of theirs. The one thing that we know we can do is give them a blanket that they can hang on to. It's something tangible they can hang on to. One of the most beautiful things that has come out of this organization is not just being able to give blankets away to kids in foster care, but to also see all the volunteers. Because there's a lot you can do with my very own blanket. You don't have to just know sew. You can cut, sort, and iron, and there's a lot of different jobs that you can do. Would you like to be a part of this?
And like I said, my mother-in-law specifically, she does 20 blankets a month for this charity. My wife does them as well, but she's a little busy chasing me around and trying to keep me on track, so she doesn't quite get to do as many. But and they've been doing it for several years. I can't remember how many now. How many years? Maybe my wife will text me and tell me. But anyway, it's rewarding to know where these go. And Jessica shared some stories and some photos. Most of the blankets, though, that are given to children, the children are anonymous because of privacy issues, so they don't really get to meet many of them. However, she also did tell stories of some of the women that are now making blankets received one when they were younger, when they became part of the foster care system. So that's pretty neat. And you know, it's they have this office, this room, and if you're watching the video, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, at thereasonswesmile.com, you'll see a lot of photographs of this room with a lot of tables and fleece and some blankets that are prepared. And every blanket, after you make it, they sew on a label. We didn't do any sewing of the labels. I think there's another group that may do that. But what we did do was we put our name on it. So once we made a blanket, we put that it was from, and we put our name, and then we put a little saying, something encouraging, like you're awesome, or, you know, keep your chin up, or the sun is so bright, or you make me so happy, whatever, to help raise the spirits of one of these children. Because remember, the children didn't ask for this. When the parents do something to get them in a position to where they have their kids taken away, it's not really the children's fault. Sometimes it's, and actually Jessica will go into this later in the show, but I mean, it could be something as simple as the parents, dying in a car crash, right? So you have the double whammy of losing parents and then having to go into foster care. So, yeah, and I did forget to mention to people that we always give away free flowers from DeSantis Florist each week, and I didn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you now. If you want to pre-program the number, it's 614-459-9769. And again, we are talking about My Very Own Blanket, and it's a charity that gives blankets to every child in foster care in several counties, and they have grown and grown and grown. And as part of the 20th anniversary celebration, Jessica's goal for this year, for 2019, is to try to secure and donate 20,000 blankets. So we'll hear later on in the show how close they are to that. But I think what we're going to do now is we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. But before we do, we'd like you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. One winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, and the question of the day is, true or false, my very own blanket is dedicated to comforting children in foster care by giving them a handmade blanket that will provide comfort, security, and a smile. Is that true or is that false? All right, the winner's going to receive free flowers from DeSantis Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The number to call is 614-459-9769. That's 614-459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
You won't believe it though. I wanna hear your mind. And there's nothing else in the world tonight. She said people don't take the time. Hey, people don't take the time.
Hey, what's going on? It's Keith Carlos, winner of America's Next Top Model and star of Chocolate City 2. You can look for my smile courtesy of Dr. Kvitko on the CBS television network, where I play Danny on the hit soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. Stay tuned to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. Did you know that you no longer need to visit several different dental professionals to get more complete dental care? We handle everything from cleanings and orthodontics to restoration, implants, and smile makeovers, all in my office. Get the most advanced technology and procedures available today. It's more complete dentistry.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
Dr. Kvitko! Let's go!
Hi, I'm Johanna, and I've been a dental patient at Dr. Kvitko and Associates for over 10 years. I would really recommend Dr. Kvitko for your family's dental care. They're friendly. They're always there to help me. I feel like family when I walk in the door. It's clean, it's comfortable. Even if I have to bring my kids, they have a great playroom for them. I know when I'm with Dr. Kvitko, they are taking that extra time to make sure that I'm going to be the healthiest I can be. They've been great. I love them.
Call Dr. Kvitko and Associates today, 614-262-9588.
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard. All right, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day, and we have Terry on the line. Hey, Terry, how are you today? Oh, I think we lost Terry. Did we lose him? Did he hang up? Or I just can't hear him. Anyway, I believe Terry has the correct answer, and according to my producer, he does, so we won't be able to bring Terry on online with us. But Terry, if you can hear me, and I think you can, thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for listening in the first place, and stay on the line because my producer will pick up. We're going to get the information where we can send you those flowers, okay? All right, awesome. Okay, if you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode number 611 of The Reasons We Smile, and today we were highlighting a charity called My Very Own Blanket. They are dedicated to helping children in foster care. This is their 20th year. And if you're interested in My Very Own Blanket and you want to learn a little bit more about them, it's www.myveryownblanket.org. Okay, so let's go back to the event. We're going to listen in to a little bit more of what I experienced on Thursday.
It was December of 1999, and I was sitting in my nursery with my 3 babies. At the time, I had 2 beautiful boys and 1 darling little girl, and they were 1, 2, and 3 years old. I could not hold them all as they were falling asleep, so I laid them down in their 2 cribs and toddler bed, and I sat in the rocking chair so that they could see my presence. And as I was sitting there, I was knitting a blanket. And I saw that my babies had a blanket of their very own. So I thought, who can I knit this blanket for? And I remembered people saying and hearing that children in the foster care don't have very much. So I thought, I'm going to knit this blanket for a child in the foster care system. And then I thought, what if I asked other people to help me do this? And together, we could give blankets to kids in foster care to keep them safe, something that they could hang on to during the nighttime when it's dark and scary. And so 16 years later, my very own blanket has given over 75,000 blankets away to children in the foster care system. And my babies, they're now 16, 17, and 18 years old. But our story is dedicated to comforting children in the foster care system by providing what we like to call as a gift of love. A gift that when so much has been taken from them, we can give them something that they can hang on to during this time that is now uncertainty for them, that they have no choice but to have to go through. We can give them something that will provide some security, some comfort, and most of all, a smile to them. We invite you to also do the same. We invite you to be a part of making a profound effect on the emotional life of a child. And we think that that's a story worth sharing.
Okay, so those statistics are a little old. My babies actually just turned 21, 22, and 23. Yeah. And obviously we've given well over 100,000 blankets away. So what do? As you know, we connect many individuals together, different groups of people, community groups, civic groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, student groups, businesses, organizations, through this opportunity to volunteer, to help make a difference in the life of a child.
Okay, so you're getting the picture, and you know, I think we've all had a favorite toy or a binky, or I know that I think it was our daughter had a blanket, and maybe it was our oldest son, and you know, you hang on to it forever, and it just makes you feel good. A stuffed animal, exactly, and so there's something about it, the feel, you can feel it in the dark, you know what it is. It almost seems to take on a certain smell that you consider pleasant, and they get dragged all over the place. And if a child leaves their blanket at a restaurant, it's a terrible event, right? You have to find that blanket, or if you leave it behind at a hotel or something. And I think it's always not funny, it's kind of, to me it's odd that, you know, let's say you left it at a hotel, and you call the hotel, and you say, my daughter left her blanket in our room, and they go, well, nobody's turned anything, and we'll have to check with housekeeping or something. It's like, it shouldn't be, they say it's in the lost and found. Shouldn't be in the lost and found, folks. You know who was staying in that room, so, and you have our phone number. So, anybody else out there feel that way, right? Your child has left something behind, and somehow it becomes this big mystery. It's like when there's something in the room, to me, it should go to the desk clerk, right, at the hotel, say the Kvitkos left this behind, and they should call you. Anyway, that doesn't seem to happen very often, but it probably should. Okay, so yeah, so when the child has it's the security, it does make you smile. You know, it really does. And of course, the show is The Reasons We Smile, and this is a big one. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next break a little early, because the last section of audio is a little longer than I would normally have time for in our third segment. So you're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, and we'll be right back.
You can't take me as I am, not just a little bit. I don't know who to be. I'm a paper cup, baby, of the sea. I know you see it too, 'cause you're too much for me.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Estás escuchando con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su estación favorita. Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of The Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. I've been honored to help several famous people get a perfect smile, like Keith Carlos and Dominique Reigard from America's Next Top Model, and Ted the Golden Voice Williams from right here in Columbus. Isn't it time you had a celebrity smile? It costs less than you might think, and most of the time, it can be done in one visit. A new smile can make a world of difference.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode 611 of The Reasons We Smile. Today we're helping Jessica Rudolph celebrate 20 years of her charity, My Very Own Blanket. And actually, you know what? Back in May apparently is Foster Care Awareness Month. And I think she was trying to put something together that was going to be closer to May, maybe a June event. And then I think it turned into July. And then it got pushed back to this past Thursday, September. So I'm not really sure what happened, but she might have been super busy just trying to make 20,000 blankets, right? Or help people, help her get these 20,000 blankets made. So I want to congratulate Jessica on all of her efforts. And remember, if you want to reach them, it's www.myveryownblanket.org. Okay, so let's go back to the event and listen into Jessica's comments.
So what we like to call people who get involved and make a blanket with us is a blanket angel. So you guys are all known as blanket angels.
So I'm not just a dentist, now I'm an angel.
And so Martin is actually our oldest blanket angel right now. He's soon to be 101 years old. He's up in St. Mary's, and he works with a group of women. There's no other men in the group. But he cuts squares for them to sew together. And they've made over 3,000 blankets, and he's actually cut over 100,000 squares. And as far as I know, he's still cutting. So in 2000, we gave 84 blankets away to 3 different counties. Since then, we've grown over the years to last year, we gave 15,061 blankets away. So this year, our goal for 2019 is to give 20,000 blankets away. And again, we need everybody to help us to be able to do that. But why do we need so many blankets? People say, oh my gosh, why do you need so many blankets? And I say, well, you know what? The foster care system right now is in a crisis because of the drug epidemic, opioids and heroin. We're in a crisis right now. About 5 years ago, I could say there was approximately 11,000 kids in foster care in the state of Ohio. Next year, they're predicting it to go up to 20,000. So, I mean, kids are flooding the system, and it's so sad. But there's kind of 3 reasons why we've seen that foster care is in a crisis. One is the drug epidemic. The second one is that we don't have enough licensed foster families in Ohio. There's approximately 7,200 licensed foster families in Ohio, and we need more. The best case scenario that we can get the kids in is in kinship care with grandparents, an aunt or uncle, with family, but that's not always possible. Kinship care has increased 47% since 2016. It's amazing how many grandparents are raising their kids. So that's one of the other kind of crisis I think we have with foster care is that we don't have enough licensed foster families. The other crisis that we have is we don't have enough caseworkers. I shouldn't say we don't have. The caseworkers, it's a tough job. It's a really, really tough job. I mean, they're working front lines with these kids. They're seeing what's happening to them. You know, it's a really, really difficult job. So there's a high turnover rate. I've had so many people say to me, oh my goodness, everybody in Ohio must know about you since doing it for 20 years. And I said, no. There's so many caseworkers because they turn over every year. You know, and the other thing too is that funding gets cut. So then caseworkers lose their jobs. So we have fewer caseworkers, more kids on their caseloads, and they're stressed because of case overload, job trauma, obviously from what they have to see every day, and unfortunately they're just not paid very well. So 53% of caseworkers exhibit, by no surprise, signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. So they have a really tough job. But while all of this happens, when there's a new caseworker that comes on, when they need to be trained, they receive new caseworkers, they get to know the families, children wait. They wait, and it's unfortunately they're more of and the worst happens to them than anything else. But they get kind of stuck in the system. So now that I've kind of pulled the everybody down into a sad place and into reality, this is the reality of there's lots of layers that these kids go through. When you say, wow, could there be any good news? Well, if you know me, I always like to say, but the good news is, and I tell people a lot, but the good news is what you guys are doing here right now, making this blanket as simple as you might think it is, huge effect, big effect for these kids. It has a profound effect on their lives and just to them. So I say the good news is that we get to give the child something they can hang on to. We minister to that child.
So what Jessica said earlier was how many more children are in the system than used to be, and one of the stats she mentioned I think she mentioned 20,000, but actually it's over 26,700 children were in foster care at some point in 2018, which was up 3,184 since 2016. So that number keeps going up, which is kind of odd in a way because I guess I just didn't realize, and I don't know. It's just surprising to me. So 100,000 Ohio grandparents are raising their grandchildren, and of course that's preferable. But you see grandparents who, when you're in your 60s, it's a little bit harder to take care of little ones, right? It's nice to be able to send them back to their mom and dad. And when mom and dad are gone or incapable of taking care of them, it falls on the grandparents. So this seems to be a very, very worthy venture, and it's doing a lot of good. And I know my mother-in-law enjoys doing this for the kids. Oh, and I want to, if you're watching the video or when you watch the video, you're going to see me working on a blanket. I need to give props to my wife because I was trying to put this show together while we were there. She actually did most of my blanket. I think I did all the cutting and some of the tying, but she finished it for me. And so, that seems to be the way things go sometimes, doesn't it? So anyway, remember myveryownblanket.org, and you can sign up to volunteer and make blankets, and you can do that at your house. You don't have to go to the office in Westerville, or you can go to the office in Westerville if you want to be there with some other folks and have a little conversation while you're doing it. My wife and mother-in-law, they do it at their home. We do it at home, or they do it at home. So you can also they have all kinds, like she mentioned, if you can hear, they have silk screening, they have sewing, they have all kinds of things that need done. So I'm sure whatever your skill is, and even if you don't think you have one, you could help. And I'm sure Jessica would be happy to have as much help as possible. I think she said, what'd she say, there were over 15,000 blankets now, and they have several to go to get to the 20,000, and time's clicking by, right? We only have 3 more months. But if you think about it, she's 3/4 of the way there, so with 1/4 of the year to go, there's a good chance that she's going to make it. So I'm getting the 1 minute sign, and so I'm going to kind of wrap this up. So again, I want to thank Jessica for inviting us, and props to my wife and my mother-in-law for doing it, and I want to congratulate the Buckeyes on their win again. It's we're right now the weather's pretty nice, and it's fun to go out to the games pretty soon. When I get there, I'm going to be freezing. I typically go to one of those sporting goods places, and I get the little hand warmers, that you put in they have for shoes, they have for your hand, and I take the ones for my hand and I sit on them, so they're butt warmers for me. And so and I want to wish my niece Brittany Rose is getting married next Sunday or Saturday, so I want to wish her well, and we'll be seeing all you guys up there in Michigan. Sorry to say, folks, that's where the wedding's being held next week. Okay, so that looks like that is all the time I have. I want to remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko, and if you go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. All past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com. Be sure to tune in next week and every week right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-95.